Let's go to the intelligent Mr. Michael McLaren.
Might be another malfunction here if you're not careful.
We do have malfunction. Look, Scott Morrison keeps on saying to his credit he wants to get people back to work and he wants businesses to be open and so on. But you've got all these massive projects. We've talked about this before, by red tape. Why wouldn't we just say to the developers, put your hand up, come and see me. What projects have you got? We've got stuff. We can provide jobs. They'll pay tax. You'll get group tax. You'll get company tax. You'll get payroll tax. Let's get on with it and get the red tape and green tape out of the way. Isn't that simple?
Well, it is. That's why we're not doing it. And I think that, this is what needs to happen. But again, I think we've mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, Alan. This is going to be another one of these issues where the Federation, after all of the worst of this has passed, we've got to seriously look at it, because the federal government might say, come on, let's do something, but the states will have jurisdictional control over a forest or something. Oh, you can't touch it. And you just end up with this inertia, and that costs money.
Well, you and I have talked also now about the harvest. Massive harvest, no workers. Now, there's an outfit called a Joint Standing Committee on Migration. It made a recommend 2 weeks ago that HSC students, instead of taking their gap year, encourage them to go out. They can still keep the job keeper, not the job seeker, whichever one's the unemployment benefit. They can still keep that and get a wage. Now, nothing's happened to any of this. And then I find that this National Union of Students President Molly Wilmot says we're opposed to the proposal. Crop pickers were often abused, underpaid and overworked. Now, if the government's made a decision 2 weeks ago, why isn't something done?
Well, the problem is they haven't made a decision. I spoke to John Alexander, who we both know about this, and he's been looking at it with cross-party teams, and he made the point to me the minister's got to make the call. So they've put forward all the recommendations. There's heaps of options. Pick a couple, throw a dart at it, choose some. But no one's made that final call yet as to which 1, 2 or 3 we're going to go with. And so here we still are. It's raining, the crops are looking terrific, and there's no one to harvest them.
I know, and there's millions of dollars. Look, Michael, there's alarmism and fear out there when we need hope and opportunity.
Right.
I've got a lady on the line here, I think I have. I mean, the public debate is so false because leaders are sponsoring this fear and alarmism. Now, this is a lady who would be a metaphor of thousands of Australians. She's unfortunately, and Kylie won't mind me saying this, a travel agent. And I just thought we'd have a word with Kylie. She's from Ballarat. She's had 3 paid bookings since March.
3.
She goes to her office every day. What to do? To process refunds. 650 of them. International travel was 75% of her business. She's joining us at Ballarat via Skype or whatever it is. Kylie, good evening to you. How do you manage?
Well, and it's a struggle. The hardest thing I've done in my life, to be honest. It's hard not to get emotional. Sometimes it's hard to get out of bed, and I have clients who've booked with me for over 30 years. Some are like family and depend on me to get their funds back. I'm a Ballarat girl and I've been here all my life, so my reputation is really everything to me. And Frankfurt Travel's been here for 50 years, so it actually means something to me, and we're part of Ballarat's history in the community. So
I mean, you're virtually a welfare worker. You're going to work for nothing, and these are people who've booked holidays with you for decades, and now they can't travel, so you've got to refund them.
Yeah, so we don't get paid for cancelling bookings, we get paid to create them. And as much work and time goes into cancelling them as it does to create them. And the stress factor is by about 100, because every airline has different policies, procedures. You have tour operators, hotels, cruises, etc., and they have their own refund procedures. And you're not dealing with... It's not my money, it's the client's money.
I know, I mean, it is. But no one can tell you or will tell you when this is going to end. When is international travel going to resume? When is interstate travel going to resume? I mean, they say, oh, we'll give you a help if there's been a 30% reduction in turnover. The travel industry has suffered a 90% reduction in turnover. Eh?
Yeah, we don't have a date. We just don't have a date to look towards, like restaurants, hairdressers and beauty salons have a date. We've got no date. It's open-ended.
Say to our viewers out there, look at Kylie. There are 4 million impacted travellers. They're seeking outstanding refunds of $10 billion. Kylie's one. I think there are about 40,000 travel agents around Australia, 3,000 agencies in Australia. You're part of the local community and you've got no idea when business will resume, have you?
No, none whatsoever. So when they've got a vaccine or when the borders can open.
Unbelievable. We'll keep in touch with you, Kylie. All we can say is our thoughts are with you. That's not worth too much. It's just unbelievable. Thank you for your time, Kylie. Kylie from Ballarat, Kylie Ellerton from Ballarat. I mean, what do you make of that, Michael? Yeah. Who cares? I mean, all these politicians and public servants, they keep getting all their dough.
Yep.
And these people, how on earth do they manage?
Well, we speak about a two-speed economy, but we've got a two-speed coronavirus reality as well, don't we? I mean, there's the public service and there's all of us, and there's poor people like Kylie. But, I mean, look, if international travel can't open in the next few months, so be it. But for goodness sake, get domestic travel going.
Yes.
And, I mean, this is the point. I mean, a lot of people say, oh, you know, Dr. Jeanette Young's running Queensland. Well, I mean, there's a problem there. But ultimately, as you know, governments get advice on everything, from tax policy to education, curricula, to everything. And they get it all from the experts, and they say, well, we'll accept that, and that, but we can't, that's not political. But when it comes to corona, they get the advice from health experts.
Politicians become the followers.
And they just say, done.
That's it. The politicians have become followers, not leaders.
And that's the result.
Equally, the Constitution, Section 92 and 51 provide for interstate commerce and travel and so on. Why wouldn't a Liberal government test the Constitution? Or is it because that challenge would have to be mounted by the Attorney-General? The Attorney-General is a West Australian. And West Australians are in favour of McGowan closing the border. They're looking to the next election thing. Hang on. If we make the move here and support Clive Palmer, we're going to lose votes. It's pretty rough when you hold the economy to ransom for the sake of a few votes.
6 seats or something.
Yep.
Well, look, they're looking at the polling, and all the state polling says this is popular. I would challenge that. I'd say you remove all the federal government benefits, JobKeeper, JobSeeker, Home Builder, all of these multi-billion-dollar schemes, which is at least giving people money in their bank account. Pull them away and say to the state governments, right, well, you keep your border shut if you want.
Yes.
Let's see how popular it is. They'd go down like a donut in 5 minutes.
That's it.
So and look, Clive Palmer's trying to challenge this, bless him. But why is the High Court taking forever? It won't be till November.
That's it.
Now, I mean, when there was the election on and Get Up pushed the voting situation, I think in 2010, the High Court rapidly convened. They had their deliberation. They changed it all. Now, that was urgent. I would have thought this is far more urgent than that.
Far more urgent. Where are some expert witness from WA wasn't available. Well, so be it. I mean, if you go to any other court and your witness is not there, bad luck, the case proceeds, doesn't it? But it's immaterial, isn't it? Because the Commonwealth are not challenging. No. The Commonwealth aren't defending the Constitution.
They ran away.
Ran away. For votes, for 1 or 2 votes. Well, don't you run away, I have to say.
Well, I got it. I've got to go to
That's it. All right, there he is. Good to talk to you, Michael. There he is, Michael McLaren, wonderful mind. But it's a very disturbing development, isn't it? I mean, here we have the states, as Michael rightly says, dictating terms, and at the end of the day, the only losers are us.